That's stubborn bloating. That weird sudden change in your bathroom schedule. We've all been there. It is way too easy to blame these things on a sensitive stomach or that questionable takeout you had last night. But what if it's not just a passing issue? What if your body is trying to send you a quiet but urgent message about a silent killer? Colorectal cancer is a major cause of cancer deaths across the globe, and doctors are flagging a deeply concerning trend. It's on the rise in adults under 50. The real danger is that the earliest symptoms are things most of us would just try to ignore, but catching them early is your single greatest advantage. When colorectal cancer is found in its earliest stage, the 5-year survival rate is over 90%. Today, we're breaking down 9 of those subtle signals your gut might be sending. They might seem small, but knowing what to look for could literally save your life. Sign number 1, persistent changes in your bowel habits. First up is one of the most common signs, and also one of the most easily dismissed, a change in your bowel habits that just won't quit. This isn't about one off day. We're talking about a consistent, noticeable shift from your personal normal that lasts for more than a few days. This can show up in a couple of ways. Maybe it's diarrhea that has no clear cause. It's not a stomach bug, it's not food poisoning, it's just there. Or maybe it's the opposite, and you're dealing with a new kind of constipation, feeling blocked and just plain uncomfortable. For some, it's a frustrating seesaw between the two, where your system can't seem to find its rhythm. So why does this happen? The colon's job is to process waste and absorb water. A tumour or a polyp that's become cancerous can physically get in the way of stool, causing constipation. It can also mess with the colon's ability to absorb water, which can lead to diarrhea. The key word here is persistent. If your bathroom routine has gone off the rails and isn't getting back on track after a couple of weeks, that's your body telling you to pay attention. Sign number 2, blood in your stool. This is a red flag you should never, ever ignore. Seeing blood after you go to the bathroom is alarming, and for good reason. It's a critical warning sign for colorectal cancer. The way the blood looks can even offer clues about where the problem might be. If you see bright red blood on the toilet paper or in the bowl, it often points to bleeding in the lower colon or rectum. Now, this can also be a sign of common things like hemorrhoids or anal fissures, but you can't know for sure without seeing a doctor. Please don't just write it off as hemorrhoids, especially if this is a new thing for you. On the other hand, you might see very dark, black or tar-like stools. This usually means the bleeding is happening higher up in the digestive system, like the upper colon or stomach. The blood turns dark because it gets digested on its way out. Sometimes the bleeding is invisible to the naked eye. This is called occult blood, and it's only found with special stool tests. This slow, chronic blood loss is exactly why our next sign is often one of the first clues that leads to a diagnosis. Sign number 3, unexplained and constant fatigue. Look, life is tiring. It's easy to blame fatigue on work, stress, or not enough sleep, but the fatigue that comes with colon cancer is different. It's a deep, relentless exhaustion that doesn't get better with a good night's sleep. It's a weakness that can make even simple daily tasks feel like climbing a mountain. This crippling fatigue often ties directly back to our last point: slow, chronic blood loss from a tumour. Whether you can see the blood or not, this gradual loss can cause iron deficiency anemia. Iron is essential for making hemoglobin, the protein in your red blood cells that carries oxygen everywhere in your body. When you're low on iron, your body can't make enough healthy red blood cells, and your organs and muscles are starved for oxygen. The result is that bone-deep weakness and fatigue. For many people, discovering they have iron deficiency anemia from a routine blood test is the very first sign that something is wrong. If you're feeling a level of tired that is profound and completely out of character for your lifestyle, consider it a major warning. Sign number 4. Persistent abdominal discomfort. Everyone gets a stomachache now and then, but persistent discomfort, cramps, gas, bloating, or general pain that lingers for days or weeks is a different beast. This isn't just a passing ache. It's a nagging pain that you can't seem to shake. It can be caused by a tumour growing in the colon, which can block the normal passage of stool and gas, creating pressure cramping and pain. It's easy to dismiss this as just bad indigestion, but unlike a typical stomachache, this discomfort sticks around. You might also notice you feel full almost immediately after starting a meal. This group of symptoms is your digestive system sounding an alarm. Sign number 5. Unexplained weight loss. Losing weight without trying might sound nice in theory, but in reality, it can be a serious warning sign. We're not talking about dropping a couple of pounds after a healthy week. This is a significant, unintentional drop on the scale, often 10 pounds or more in 6 months or less when your diet and exercise habits haven't changed. This happens for a few reasons with cancer. First, cancer cells are greedy. They burn a lot of your body's energy and calories as they multiply. Second, the cancer can release substances that change how your body processes food, leading to weight loss. On top of that, the abdominal pain and nausea we've talked about can kill your appetite, so you eat less. And if a tumour gets big enough, it can interfere with digestion and prevent you from absorbing nutrients properly. If you're losing weight without any effort, your body is sending a powerful signal that warrants investigation. Sign number 6. The feeling of incomplete evacuation, tenesmus. This is a very specific and maddening sensation, known as tenesmus. It's the constant feeling that you need to use the bathroom, even if you've just gone. You might strain and nothing happens, but that nagging pressure in your rectum stays there. This sensation often points to a tumour in the rectum or the very last part of the colon. The tumour takes up space and presses on the rectal wall, tricking the nerves into thinking there's stool that needs to come out. Your body gets the go signal, but because there's nothing there or the path is blocked, you get no relief. This is different from normal constipation. With tenesmus, it's the feeling of needing to go when there's nothing to pass. It's a classic symptom of rectal cancer and should always be brought up with a doctor. Sign number 7. Changes in stool shape. This sign requires you to, well, look before you flush. A consistent change in the shape of your stool can be a literal, mechanical clue that something inside is obstructing the path. Specifically, you're looking for stool that is consistently much thinner than usual, often described as pencil thin or ribbon-like. Think of your colon as a hose. If a polyp or tumour starts growing on the inside wall, it creates a bottleneck. As stool squeezes past this blockage, it's forced into a narrower shape. A day or two of thin stools isn't a big deal, but if you notice that for weeks on end your bowel movements are consistently stringy and narrow, it's a huge hint that something is physically constricting the passage and warrants an immediate call to your doctor. Sign number 8. New onset nausea or vomiting. A little bit of nausea now and then is normal, but nausea or vomiting that appears out of nowhere and doesn't go away can signal a serious backup in your gut. When it comes to colon cancer, these symptoms often point to a bowel obstruction. As a tumour grows, it can get big enough to partially or even completely block the intestine. When that happens, everything gets backed up. Food, liquid, and gas have nowhere to go. This traffic jam in your digestive tract can trigger waves of nausea and even vomiting. This is often accompanied by other signs of a blockage, like severe abdominal pain, intense bloating, and being unable to pass gas or stool. This combination of symptoms can be a medical emergency. Sign number 9. Persistent and painful bloating. Bloating is another one of those super common gut issues. Usually it's just gas from something you ate, but the bloating tied to colon cancer is different. It's a painful, stubborn bloating that's there day in and day out, no matter what you eat. Your stomach might even look visibly swollen. This can happen when a growing tumour starts trapping gas and stool, causing the abdomen to swell and feel tight. This pressure can be very uncomfortable. In more advanced cases, this swelling can also be caused by a build-up of fluid in the abdomen, a condition called ascites. If you're dealing with bloating that is constant, painful, getting worse, and isn't relieved by passing gas, it's a serious warning sign. So, that's 9 signs your gut might be using to warn you about colorectal cancer. But remember, having one or even a few of these doesn't automatically mean you have cancer. Current guidelines from the US Preventive Services Task Force and the American Cancer Society recommend that average-risk adults start screening for colorectal cancer at age 45. But what if you're at a higher risk? If you have a first-degree relative, a parent, sibling or child who had colorectal cancer, you should generally start screening at age 40 or 10 years before the age your relative was diagnosed, whichever is earlier. So, what's your next step? If any of these signs are new, persistent, and worrying you, the single best thing you can do is make an appointment with your doctor. Don't put it off. If this video was helpful, I'd love for you to subscribe. That way you won't miss more conversations about cancer warning signs and prevention tips. For a quicker version of today's topic, I've linked a short on colon cancer symptoms below. Stay well, my friend. Take care of your body, listen to its signals, and always speak with a doctor if you have concerns.